Now, I invite our guest today, Mr. Richard Short. We welcome him today. Richard, you're most welcome, and he will be providing his comments to share from this platform. Mr. Short is currently the National Coordinator of the Conservative Trade Unionists and Chairman of the Wigan Conservative Federation. He was formerly a parliamentary candidate for the 2015 general election. Currently, he is in the area of environmental health practitioning, and he's been in local government for 10 years, and he now works for an international hotel company. Richard, welcome. Please enlighten us with your words.
Thank you very much. That was a very kind welcome, and thank you to everybody for welcoming me to your house today to talk to you about this very, very important project. That very kind introduction. You know I'm from the Conservative Party, but believe me, I'm going to talk from the heart today and some subjects that I absolutely believe in. But can I just first say it's really good to be back here in Bolton. I've got a real soft spot for the town. I was many years ago, but not that many years ago, I worked for Bolton Council. So, Roy, I think our paths might have crossed at some point. So we have a common heritage there. In fact, one of the places that I used to visit as one of Bolton Council's environmental health officers was the cake factory just across the road, and I love cake, so that was never a problem. But also there were, and still are, many eateries that are owned and run by those in the Gujarati community. And believe me, I love Indian food as well, so that too was never a problem. In fact, my job was never a problem. It was always involved food. But also working for... and just in case there's anybody here that recognises me from 25 years ago when I was the health inspector here, remember I was the nice one. Okay. Now... but also, Bolton Council turned me into a Bolton Wanderers supporter. Now, those of you who follow the Bolton Wanderers team would know that, well, to put it politely, they're not doing themselves any favours at the moment. But okay, I'm still a fan. So I love cake, I love Indian food, and despite everything, I love Bolton Wanderers. Something else I love, and I'm just touching on what a number of speakers have said before me, is I love the National Health Service. I love what it provides. I love that it takes away that fear of ill health and that fear of disease. We don't have that in the UK, but that still exists around the Valan community. And that's what makes this project so important. And that's where I very much speak from the heart. It sounds to some like for somebody here from the Conservative Party, I love the NHS. I know we say it all the time, but it absolutely makes sense. It's a very Conservative thing to say. After all, any responsible business will recognise that the most cherished and important part of their business are the workers that work in that business. It's the people that provide the bedrock of work, and quite right too. A healthy, looked after, motivated workforce. That's the most productive workforce. So it's win-win. You get the productivity, and you get a healthy population as well. We in the Conservative Party, we recognise this as well. In the introduction, you'll know I'm the national coordinator of the Conservative Trade Unionist group. We have links with workers. We have links with the trade unions. We've always recognised that workers are the bedrock of any community, and fundamentally this means decent working conditions and, of course, high quality and accessible healthcare. Similarly, an entire nation needs a healthy population to be its best and its strongest. And in our global economy, this is becoming more, not less important to have a healthy and vibrant workforce. So I am absolutely thrilled to see that the Valan Hospital is providing low and, in some cases, no-cost healthcare based on need, not based on any other aspect of inequality. It's not basic healthcare either. And from what I've seen, I mean, just let me quote some figures: 16 hip replacements, 22 knee replacements. And I'm particularly proud to see that, because that is surgery that was pioneered right here in the northwest at Wrightington Hospital, and now it's all over the world and happening at the Valan Hospital, and that just makes it makes my heart soar, I'll tell you that. It's good news not just for those that benefit from this surgery, but it's good news in that that surgery is being carried out right in the community, keeping the skills in the community and helping to spread those skills and benefits right in the community where it's needed. We can send people away for treatment. It happens all the time, and that benefits that person. Great. But it's far better to have the skills in the community where it's needed, and that's what the Valan Hospital does. Doesn't end there. More figures. The 1,200 cataract operations, so people can see when they once couldn't see. It means that they can carry on working and provide for their families, just from a simple operation like a cataract replacement. 5 births a day, meaning that women can now give birth in a safe and clean environment. And if the birth doesn't go so well, and we've got an excellent example from Dr. Rajiv there, that you have the facilities on hand in the hospital to give that medical care where it's needed. None of that would have happened now had it not been for your help in building the Valan Hospital, and for that I think we can all be grateful. And 2 areas where the project leads, and these can quite simply lead to death if not treated. Let's not sugarcoat this. Kidney failure needs dialysis. If you don't get it, you die. Infection. Infection kills more people than any other cause of disease in the world. And I'm very, very pleased to see that the Valan Hospital is absolutely spot on to prioritise this as a need in the local community. And as an environmental health practitioner myself, I know that infection control is very from a personal perspective. I can see many parallels with the Valan Hospital in the way the NHS came into being. Before that, as Roy was pointing out in his talk, we very much had to rely on local philanthropy, charities, seeking payment from those that could make a contribution to make sure healthcare was available to those that didn't. So we need to underpin those values within the Valan Hospital, and makes it a very worthwhile cause. And that really resonates with me, because the NHS providing healthcare free at the point of need in the UK is not negotiable. But that's not to say that the NHS can't learn from the Valan Hospital story itself. It's a brilliant example of how the community itself can deliver healthcare that it needs locally to deliver locally, and they decide what's needed locally. And actually in Greater Manchester we are about to embark on exactly that project, where healthcare will be taken out of government's hands and given to the new mayor of Greater Manchester, which we've never had before. But in the Valan Hospital they're doing it now, so we can learn from each other. And then just finally, I'll reiterate that the health of a nation needs to be a priority for all governments, for the UK government, the Indian government, and all governments around the world. And we provide that here in the UK with a strong NHS, with good public health policy. But quite simply, a strong NHS is a necessary and constituent part of any strong economy. So it makes perfect sense to look at admiration at facilities like the Valan Hospital. When it comes to high-quality healthcare, nobody has the monopoly on good ideas. We could all learn from each other. So please support the Valan Hospital with all your heart.
Thank you very much, Mr. Short. That was very interesting and intriguing. It sounds like you're half an Indian, but I'd love for your curries.